Welcome, audience, from RPG Limit Break to the final day of Jelly Jam 2022. We've got 2 rounds up. First will be the Consolation match between Hoppie and Michie, Team PD and JJ, versus Kauliarys and Traviktox, Team 2 Spartans. We'll be kicking that off in just a couple of minutes. So, last chance to pop some popcorn, grab a drink, and do whatever else you need to before it's race time. If you are unfamiliar with what's going on today, and you're just jumping in for the first time, take advantage of the commands, including exclamation point tracker, and the scorecard details that are within it, so that way you understand what our racers today will be working towards. And know that it's a 2-hour race between our 2 teams of 2 to collect as many points as they can, with a caveat or 2 along the way. Okay, guys, it looks like all of our racers are present and accounted for. And I would say that today's race is ready to go. On commentary, we have previous runners and also teammates from, was it last year's Jelly Jam or the year before? DC Boy and Sinister Rain?
It was last year.
It was last year.
Yes, exactly. Last year we were teammates.
So I do hope
No,
these 2 can offer some good commentary related to their experience from last year and the evolution of Jelly Jam into what we're seeing today for the Consolation round. I'll make 2 quick announcements. If you have any questions, again, take advantage of the commands that you see listed at the bottom of the screen. Runners, rules, and tracker should cover everything as far as what goes on for the race that you're watching today. AC Discord is if you'd like to consider joining the Discord.
Sorry.
And finally, the AC Ref is if you have questions just about the game in general. You'd like to check on notes, say details on specific enemies, drops, or whatever that goes on with the checklist, scorecard that each racer is going to be using. That's where you'll be able to get a lot of that info from. So with that said, I would like to make one final announcement, and this is a special for today's Consolation round only. Hoppie, Michie, Traviktox, and Kauliarys. If you can all hear me,
yeah,
I want a jelly kill.
Yep.
And if you get a jelly kill, that's going to be worth 10 points instead of 1. So let that sit in if that adjusts your strategies going forward. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, let's go.
You hear it, Hoppie? No Tia.
No Tia.
No Tia.
No Tia. All of the Tia.
Alright, and with that said, I'll leave it over to our commentary team, DC Boy and Sinister Rain, to take over, announce the starting countdown, and get this show on the road.
One question, 10 points per jelly kill?
10 points per jelly kill.
Alright,
And
DC.
And 1
Alrighty.
point for the first person, right?
If all the racers can hear
You know what?
me,
You know what? To
we
top
have,
it up,
do we
to
have
top it up
Travi
even
and
farther,
2
An additional,
Do we have Travi twice here?
Yes.
you know what, to top it
Okay.
up and make it a little bit more official, 10 additional points if you get the jelly kill with Lexus as well for a potential of 20, right off of jelly with Lexus.
Oh man.
So, any percent parties, think about it. Lexus teams, think about it. It's worth a lot. That Lexus point is only available to one racer across all 4 of you. So think about it. You have about, I don't know, 10 seconds until the guys say go, so make up your minds quick.
And if everybody can hear us for the countdown, we are going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, have fun.
Alright, let's go. As you can see, we already have some points up on the board. The both of the shots flash, blaze, or gusto only. That's why we have 2 points on each side.
Yep. If everybody in chat here wants to keep up with the types of incentives that our racers are going to be going for as they travel along through the cave, you can use the exclamation point tracker, and you can find the score sheet that our players are using. There are going to be team incentives as well as individual incentives for every set of 10 floors, as well as sort of different goals that can be achieved throughout the entire process. And welcome to Ancient Cave, Lufia 2's sweet little extra mode. You'll be, if anybody is familiar with this game, it is a sort of side quest in the main RPG storyline, but after completing the game twice, once on New Game and once on New Game Plus, you unlock a permanent option to just play the cave, and that is what we are doing here today.
We already see some divergence in the teams. We have 2 teams, two runners that brought Guy and 2 runners that still kept Lexus. So it's going to be interesting to see that last minute change to the strategy.
Yeah, it looks like we've got standard any percent party coming from Hoppie, and then it looks like Michie took the old man. Looks like we also have the same type of setup going for Kauliarys and Traviktox, just in a sort of mirrored image there. So you'll notice that the players on the bottom, Michie and Travi, will have access to different weapons through Lexus, but they will also have to manage his weaknesses, being basically not even a glass cannon so much as just glass.
Yeah, and the early floors Lexus is really a liability. You want anyone but him, but once you go deeper, you find some better equipment, he gets to use some spell. But yeah, the early going with Lexus is real.
A lot of what you're gonna see here is every few floors there's various enemies that change. You'll see the sprites, they move around as our players move. So a big strategy with the cave is understanding these monsters' movements. It's going to become a lot more important later, but early on, it is still very good to know how an enemy moves so you can basically manipulate their positioning to your advantage. You can see Hoppie dancing with some baby frogs there. There's a lot of different incentives on these early floors to have, say, your capsule monster, like Travik just had, scoring a final hit there on an enemy. So you'll see points kind of racking up as we go here.
One thing to keep note here is we see a lot of enemies that you wouldn't see normally if you watch some speedrunners. The first goal incentive is to have your Form 1 capsule kill something, so fighting spiders or mushrooms is a really good idea to score at this point, but normally you wouldn't see that kind of monsters when you watch a speedrun in person. We also see some eagles, which are way more common. Like these are the first monsters you want to fight to get some XP. they can drop this rare Eagle Rock. So a more common choice here of enemies.
Wow, Eagle drop or Eagle Rock drop for Hoppie. Really good early floor drop, and then cascades into a blue chest. Too bad he can't use it.
Yep, better luck next time. So blue chest items are really powerful items. You really get excited when you see those, and they can be super good or super bad. In this case, we have something that we can't use. It's only for the ladies, and the any percent party that Hoppie brought doesn't have one of those. We also see some mimics on Michie's screen. This is one. This is the other team incentive here. You have to fight them and defeat them without getting the surprise attack. Usually, they're fairly easy to get a 50-50 against them. But here we just want the runners to head at first into them. But he defeats them really easily with a tier 3 spell. Like, that's a really good find early on.
Getting Firebird on those early floors really opened up the potential here for clearing waves of early enemies. But that mana, the MP usage is going to become an issue very quickly.
We're getting graced with a lot of meows early on. You saw the kind of steps that Michie wanted to do here was to force a 50-50 against the mimics, because he already scored his half point. But yeah, that's usually the kind of maneuvers we want to do with mimics.
You'll notice as our players are going, there's random items that are coming out of these red chests, and there are some key items that they're going to be looking for to achieve different missions along the way. For our players using Lexus, they're going to be looking for a few different types of wrench items that he can equip, such as Coma Hit, Figaroo, things of that nature. There's a stun gun that can be used for a point incentive later on in the cave. So the advantage of taking Lexus does open up the ability for not only some bonus points for taking Doc Brown himself, but getting access to those unique weapons that only he can equip and score points with later on.
Yes, if finding a Figaro or a this other one that I'm missing on top of my lips. But yeah, Figaro will allow you to bypass some levels and just like farm monsters that would be hard to fight, but with Lexus it really opens those up. We saw a Water Gaunt on bottom right. This is a really good blue chest item. Like I was saying, there's some bad, some really good. Water Gaunt is one of the good ones. I am trying to adjust my stream here. A second.
And just to give a general kind of guideline of what we're looking at here, the Ancient Cave is 99 floors of randomly generated layouts with random distribution of enemies, although the floors have particular enemies that they can distribute. So you will see that about every 3 to 4 floors, the enemies will be changing up. There is some crossover, some last a little longer. Later on, you'll see enemies that essentially persist through the end of the cave. But early on, it's about every 3 to 4 floors that you'll start seeing varieties of enemies changing up. And there's some key enemies that appear on certain series of floors that our players need to look out for and be very cautious towards. So you'll notice as we go that we'll point out the more scary enemies that our players are going to be wary of.
It's early on, usually it would be the red mimics that we see on top of the screen, but here, since they're taking more time and they're more running a marathon pace, those ones are not really an issue here. But once we start to hit the 20s, we can start pointing out the nasty ones. I did notice a heal early on Kauliarys' side, but I didn't notice anyone else getting a heal. But that's one super important thing to get into the cave. Like, we don't start with healing, we start with 10 potions, and we have to deal with this. So getting a heal early on really boosts your confidence. You can get into more fights, more battle, and get some experience.
Yeah, the cave is extremely unique in the sense that you need a little bit of everything for it to go perfect, but you never get a little bit of everything. You usually get a lot of one thing and none of the other. So, one common thing is to find all the tools you need, but no healing, and die later because you had no opportunities to heal. You ran out of items. So, do be aware of all the types of things that our players are picking up here. Healing spells, spells like Champion there is a very good healing spell. Although there's only 2 healing spells that have access to reviving a dead party member, so those are usually well sought after as well.
We're getting into the floor 11s and those ranges. We're going to see them looking for some red squares. Like they look like the soap for dishwashers. Those gives a lot of experience. Those are the easiest battle you will have. They tend to run away, but you'll get a lot of experience out of them. So red cores, that's what we're looking for here.
We just saw an iris item for Michie. Iris items are a unique item in the cave that can be found in red chests. There are 8 of them, and if between the 2 party members, if they collect 5 throughout their marathon attempts here, they do score some points off of that. So we've got one for Team PB and JJ right now. And to add on to what he was saying about cores, there are 4 opportunities, 4 series of 3 floors where cores can spawn. There's red, then there's blue, then there's green, and then there is the no cores, which give the most XP. Our players will be going out of their way most likely on those floor ranges to look for any opportunities of getting some core encounters.
I want to point out something in the Michie screen, so bottom left. This is what we usually call the party room. This happens naturally. They cluster, the chest and monster get clustered in a room. In our case here, it's not such of a big deal because they're easy monsters, but whenever you start to get deeper, those rooms gets really dangerous. We did see... let me try to re-see this. I saw something interesting on Hoppie. I missed it. Well, we see some cores, which is already a good thing. Oh, we saw shield, my bad. Shield is something that enables a point. In this case, because he has the any percent, he will need 2 other items, but usually shield is one of the buff that you can use to score the use 4 buff to intelligence or magic resistance in a single turn of combat. So Hoppie has one part of the formula to get a point here. As we can see on Travi's side, using... it was the actual red cores that used spell against Decker, but here we have Gale. Those red cores are super easy to kill whenever you have access to magic. As you can see, easily defeated and a lot of XP.
Yeah, the cores in this game, they have a wonderful over or underflow effect with their magic resistance, and the more difficult that the cores get, the higher the damage that your spells can do. So by the time you get to no cores, your tier 1 spells can deal tons of damage to them regardless of spell power. They are basically always going to be one-shot by spells in general, but they're very difficult to hit with physical attacks, and they have a 75% chance of using the runaway action on each of their turns, and they all get to act before your party. So you can see how it could be very difficult to get that bonus XP on your way through the cave.
Another enemies that is not common, we see the wood gorms and the Newborgs on Travik screen. Those can drop some sour ciders and a fruit for gels that he is using. So this battle, while not very efficient, like you can see it's taking a lot of time and a lot of resources, can be useful to score some points.
And Hoppie's getting lucky here, gets at least 2 cores, and he just picked up a boom turbine and fry, which is a couple of a good blue chest item, as well as a decent spell for Artie as far as holy damage or light damage goes.
So, light damage is something that you do not learn a lot about during the main game, but in the cave it becomes super important when you get down in the later floors. Let me check the tracker so we can keep track of what's happening. Both team, well, actually, Michie skipped the Wispies. Like we see that he's in the dungeon tiles already. So this means he forgot or missed the Wispies. So that's 1 point left there. We can see Hoppie is preparing to fight Wispies. So this will be a point for their team. Usually it's a monster that is more annoying than anything. They have access to flash on all of the party members. They drain resources more than anything. They won't wipe you, but you'll need some healing.
We see Michie pick up the Providence item. It is basically Providence is the equivalent to a casual run where you are able to exit the cave, keep any blue chest items that you collected, including iris items, from red chests, and then you can re-enter the cave and basically have some gear and progress from there. It's kind of the casual strategy would be to keep providencing, collecting more blue chests, and then having a ton of blue chest gear, and then just making a single run at that point. But we here in the ancient cave, in this marathon, there is points and strategies applied to using Providence to get out and get back in, as long as you are still performing actions under the 2-hour time limit that we have. That is allowed, and it does come with potential perks for points. But in any sort of standard runs, Providence is not used. But as a casual playthrough, it is very Providence heavy. Go grab a bunch of blue chests, keep Providencing, and suddenly you're almost unkillable.
We did see Trick on Traviktox screen. This is a really good spell that you will use only once during the whole cave, but it's super important because it's during the jelly fight. We will try to point out different items that are good for the jelly kill, but yeah, this is the goal here. Like, we have a lot of more points this time around for this race for the jelly kill, so Trick is something that will enable better finishers for.
And that jelly kill is the main ending goal of an ancient cave run. You get down to floor 99 and the master jelly is waiting for you. You have 3 rounds of combat to deal 9,980 damage between your 4 party members, and if you cannot, you lose by default. So Trick, being a party-wide attack boost, is a very, very useful spell when you get down there. It can really ramp up the damage across the turns that you have, especially depending on the types of weapons that you are using to deal that damage. One thing that I will note for everybody to look out for, if you see the terms Decker Blade pop out of a chest, let's get hyped for that, because Decker Blade is the single key item that really opens up the jelly kill, as it is the only item in the cave that can deal 50% of an enemy's remaining HP in a single attack, and it can only be used by the one and only Decker. So very important item, very important character to be taking on these runs.
I think we can start to see like a pattern here. We have Hoppie, Kauli, and Travi that are trying to get all the incentive as they go through. But we have Michie here that seems to be running like in any percent, like 20 minutes into the late 20s, 30s. Like with Lexus, that's usually what you would be looking at. He already has a heal, so I'm pretty sure Michie is going for it. Like he's just trying to get the first kill with the Lexus. Because usually you would be fighting those fishes for a fruit, which is another point for that bracket. but completely skipping and just going for the stairs.
Now, I will say that Evil Fish going for those fruit is in itself a dangerous task. Even if you are prepared, they can, with 4 of them, do quite a bit of damage to a party and potentially wipe them out if you don't have the correct gear or the correct levels by the time you encounter them.
So, and we can see a blue chest on Michie's screen that he is completely avoiding. That's because it's a blue mimic. Those one do not move, but they will also wipe any party. There is a point incentive in here, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if both teams skips this one, as it's really hard to defeat blue mimics.
I'm really liking Travi's party room. We get a conga line of Newborgs there, and it is very satisfying to see.
Yeah, he's really trying to get the Siders here, which is a point that the other team completely skipped. So that seems like a way to get ahead of the opponent, because currently it's 7-7, but Michie has some points in the bank if he decides to Providence and come back.
It's a pretty good setup for him to be able to farm these Siders. Just kind of having the conga line of Newborgs going in for 50-50s.
Also to note that Michie skipped the Evolve a Capsule monster, so that's another goal that is left behind just to run. It's starting to become real clear that Michie is not. He's not doing Jelly Jam, he's doing any percent here.
But the advantage to that is that we have some extra bonus points for being able to get down to the jelly and be flashy and stylish getting that kill, especially with Lexus, and doing it in a timely manner and getting there before the 145 mark could spell a lot of points for his team. So the sort of divide and conquer strategy here that they've got, where Hoppie is picking up any sort of optional points that he can individually along the way, while Michie focuses on trying to move quickly and acquire items for Jelly's encounter, is it's a solid strategy here.
We saw the Figaro on Hoppie screen. That was the other tool I was trying to find a bit earlier. This would allow him to score a point if he had Lexus, but sadly he doesn't. So that's another point left for this team. Kali did find the Engage Ring, which is the worst blue chest item you can ever find. Whenever you find this, you usually get pretty sad. He also found a launcher that would be another item he could use to score the point with the kill three enemies with one single attack. But once again, no Alexis here.
Michie's got some nice tier 3 spells between Thunder and Firebird, so definitely opening up possibilities for clearing out enemies as he goes. Definitely has some safety and power here.
Oh, my bad. The restriction is only to kill something with the enemy, 3 enemies with 1 attack. So this means RT could do it. So the launcher here is something that he could use to do the half point here.
Now,
that's a very clever way.
Wrong, but I think Kali just scored that with on that previous encounter just now with the skeletons.
Did he use the launcher?
I couldn't tell if it was a bomb attack or a launcher.
Because we have to use a physical attack, not an IP attack. Oh, another engage ring here. Like, our runners are really getting the best of the items they can. What else do we have here? We got Hoppie now in the basement and the dungeon tiles, which means that's another. They didn't go ahead and try to get some Siders or Charnute.
He did just get another launcher 3 kill, so it was not an IP attack confirmed.
We see a Thunder Axe on Kauliarys. Usually that item you skip, you don't care, and you don't think about it at all. But we have an incentive here that is deal Thunder Elemental damage to an enemy weak to Thunder Element. Turns out that the Thunder Axe is Thunder, So if we can find something that is weak to Thunder, that's an easy way to score a point. We are getting to floor 36 for Michie. We can see those blue Garbo sting. Those are really important when you try to get a jelly kill. They can drop the Cancer Rock, which is a super good item that allows you to deal 2 physical attacks in 1 turn. So you can see that he will try to farm this item here. I am actually surprised to see that Hoppie and Michie are the one going deeper and faster. Usually that's Traviktox, you know, like trademark.
Yeah,
Usually Travi is the one.
We are seeing some unique plays from these players. As we are used to their more traditional play styles, it seems to be that they are taking on each other's traits at this time. Travi's usually down in 50 by now, you know, with 1 red core under his belt, rushing along. But we see Michie making very quick moves through the cave and getting deeper and deeper very quickly.
Hoppie here is fighting some bugs. Once again, some enemies that you wouldn't want to see. Those are usually pretty... well, they will drain your MP stack again because they have this incendiary attack. But the good thing here is they call some support, so you spawn more of them, and each one of them have a chance to drop a fruit, which is another incentive on art. It's actually the incentive from 21 to 30. So that's Hoppie trying to secure a point there. And we see an actual clever use of an IP attack, which was the Camo Armor IP, which he used to heal his party members without using any MP or resources that he would have to burn here. We see some flyers on Kauliarys' screen. Those are really
scary wingers.
Yes, exactly. Either they're super easy to kill with a launcher, so that kill one group of the enemy is super easy to do on them. But if you cannot secure a back attack against them, you will most likely suffer a bit because they have a good AoE attack on all of the party members.
And we do have a Cancer Rock for Michie, a very great item for the jelly, as it offers the equipped character 2 rounds of combat where they can do 2 attacks. So you can really stack a very physically powerful item onto them and use them as 2 double finishing attacks for rounds 2 and 3 during that jelly fight. So it's a good pickup.
I want to point that Hoppie got the fruit, which is super nice. He got rewarded into a hard battle by the fruit, so that's 1 point for them. We did see Travi on his screen using Thunder Blast IP against the Green Clay, so that's once again something that you wouldn't do in a regular run, but here the clever use of the counter elemental damage on something that is weak to Thunder. Once the Sengorms that we see up top on Kauliarys' screen, they drop the Earth Fruit, like exactly what we just saw here, the drop. We just have to make sure that he is on floor 21 and not floor 20 here. Let's see, he has the stairs, let's see. So that was floor 21, so this fruit drop is good and valid, so that's a point for them. And we have, while Michie got the Cancer Rock drop, he's still fighting them. With Lexus, I feel like it's a bit less important to have 2, but let's see what's the play here. Or he's just trying to avoid them and bump into them. And for Squealer out there, I'm going to say that Hoppie's found some magique. Like that's said, that's on. I said the words. Another Providence. We should be starting to see some feeding at some point because we have 2 runners at the end of the 20s. Well, 3 runners in the early to late 20s. That's the point incentive for the team. And they already fought the fruit, so yeah, that's the current goals that they can do at this time. I need to check if we are missing anything, but that's mostly it. It's interesting to see that Kauliarys and Travi brought gels. Like they didn't bother with Blaze or anything fancy. They just went, let's take the vanilla flavor and run with it. I know the community and chat usually loves good gels.
On Michie's screen, he's on floor 38. He could attempt to get into an encounter with these shadows for potential bonus points, but it doesn't look like he's going to be attempting to do so. Surviving a vile laughter from those enemies does net some point gain, but again, it does look like the team dynamic here is going to be Hoppie focusing on points through progression, as Michie focuses on reaching the jelly and getting that kill as soon as possible.
Starting to worry about Kalia here. It's been a while since I saw that Maxim on his feet. Either he had issues with mana, with MP, or he's having issues with revives. So I'll keep an eye on this side of the screen. Some lions. The good old lions.
We do see a Curse Lifter for Kauli. Curse Lifter is a very important item for the runners along the way. There are deadly items that you usually want to see a deadly rod equipped on Artie, as he is the fastest party member and he can usually get an attack off, and with an 80%, and that's what we say, 80% likelihood of getting an instant kill on an enemy. If you have a Curse Lifter for that, you can change the properties of that staff for the jelly kill, and its IP attack becomes a 1/8 fractional damage. And because I brought it up, let's go over what IP is. You'll see on all the characters, you've got your traditional HP, MP bars like you would see in any RPGs, and then we have IP. IP is essentially a bar that builds up as you take damage, and there are many items in the cave that have IP abilities tied to them. They all have varying percentages that the IP bar needs to be at for them to trigger. So you'll see towards the end, before people get to the jelly, they're going to want to max out those IP bars and be ready for the encounter. But for example, Decker's Fatal Blow that deals 1/2 damage is a 100% IP ability, so he does need to be full, just like the Cancer Rock being, I believe, 41%? 36?
I think it's 37, but I could be wrong here. You can do it twice. That's the important part.
Yep, that is the important part.
We see a stun gun on Kauliarys' screen, which is a super good item to do one of the goals that we have, which is to paralyze or afflict a status effect on the Sphinx. But once again, Kali is not the one, but Lexus.
Green core for Michie is going to be huge to keep his pacing, as now he got some good XP to kind of bring his party up to that 24-25 range to keep him going.
We see a super interesting party room on the top left part of the screen. It's like a honey bee trap. Like you have some cores at the end, but lots of teleporters. There's even a blue chest in there. I feel like it's a good one to go for, obviously. But let's see what kind of luck does Hoppie gets here. We see Kauliarys having issues with the bees. Like it's not only a meme. Like you never want to see the bees. Like not the bees. They're mean. They go fast. They attack all. You don't want to mess with them. And their movement pattern is super random. Like you can see he's trying to get them to move away, but not happening.
You can see the way they're moving. It's based. It's a 0-1-2-1-0. So for every step you take, they take 0, then they take 1 step, then they take 2, and then they rotate back down and through that step pattern. So, and it's all random what directions they're going to choose. So bees, especially in groups and in tight hallways like this, can be a very dangerous and annoying enemy to get past.
Saw some squids on Traviktox screen. Like, you never want to see the evil fish. We talked about them earlier. I didn't see if he got the drop though. Oh, Michie is messing with ninjas. That's one enemy you don't want to see. But to the defense of Michie, he seems to be like level 26, which is insanely high for this point.
Yeah, he's well equipped as far as levels go. He's got a couple of decent items. I just picked up a potential deadly weapon if he wants to throw himself into having a deadly sword on Maxim. But he does have the potential here to be able to clean this up. It's the wrong deadly sword, so he's not even going to use it. We'll see if the ninjas are cruel or if they're going to be decent to him today.
He actually got the 50-50. Like, when you encounter a sprite on the side, you get what we call a 50-50. It's like a 1 in a 2 chance of getting the sprite attack, which means you get a bonus round before they actually go. Here, we're trying to clean them up before they act because they have knife thrower, and you never want to see knife thrower. Like, runs end all the time with this word. I think Travi didn't get the charm fruit from the evil fish because we're fighting bugs here. So most likely trying to get the flame fruit from them here. As you can see, I did mention that Hoppie was going to get in that party room for a while. Those gnome fights are going on forever because they call companions. They don't die easily to regular equipment, so they tend to breed more than you kill them. Like, they breed faster than you kill them, so
Rally
it's tough
for
fights.
Michie. So Michie's feeling pretty good as far as healing goes. He's got Champion, which is a decent HP healing spell, as well as Rally now. He can revive party members who die. So he's got access to survivability and the ability to continue running the cave if something goes sideways with an encounter.
On Kauliarys' screen, we can see the actual feeding screen. Let's just say that it's complicated, convoluted. If you run any percent, you usually never need to learn about that. You just give good items to the thing. But here it's a half point to feed from 1 to 2 on floor 21 to 30. That's half a point for Kauliarys secure.
We see Bryn's lizards on Michie's screen. These are usually pretty sought after in any percent run as well. If you can manage to throw 1 or 2 encounters, they do drop the wonderful and always sought after Twist Jewel, which is a jewel item that increases agility even better than the Eagle Rock. So if you were lucky enough to get an Eagle Rock early on, Twist Jewel is an even further improvement upon that.
It's a really, really good item. Its agility is the best thing you want to see in the cave, and that jewel is quite easy to drop. And yeah, you should always try to get one of those. I'm seeing a lot of. Okay, I thought Travi had to go through a Mimic encounter. We don't want to see that. Usually, this would mean the end of the run. So we're 40 minutes in. We have 1 runner in the ninja territories and 2 runners making their way toward the 30s. But this seems like a correct pace, to be honest. Well, let's say a fast pace compared to what we had before on screen for this tournament. The point, I feel like they're a bit low, like 10 to 9 at this time feels a bit low. They dropped a couple of points, and Michie just going for any percent means that the scoring is a bit lower than it should be. But so far, I would say the Spartan teams is doing a great job at scoring what they can without losing too much time.
Absolutely. It's definitely going to be close in both regards. The strategy of Michie going for the jelly kill early is risky, but with risk and style can come some big points, so it may pay off.
I've just linked the tracker, so if you want to take a look at what are the goals and if you have questions about the goals, you should have all the information you need here. They're sorted in a way that should be fairly easy to understand. So Trevi is scoring the other half point for defeating, so we should have a secured point here. We saw some Mist Rapier on Kauliarys and Traviktox. That's another jelly item. This one allows you to use high P to do 3 times damage that you would do in a round. So that's really good to finish the jelly after all those fractional attacks.
Man, that core for Hoppie is in a terrible spot. Yep, I wouldn't want to go for it either.
So for OP, we will be looking at half a point in 2 floors, on floor 37 for the Assassins. And from 38 to 40, we have those shades that we talked about before. They have a fairly easy to resist one-shot kill. And that's where the point comes from this bracket. Blue Mimics on Travi. Like, I didn't see how it happened, but let's keep an eye out. We don't want to see any frenzy. And 3 of them are in the front row.
Target down. Oh, jeez.
Okay, they were next to the stairs, so that was a one-off. So we're finding. Oh. Okay, go ahead, DC.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that those blue mimics have some properties that make them very annoying in the sense that they can spawn in front of doorways and on top of the stairs. So they can really bottleneck you into that encounter, and they are very lethal. They are essentially what we like to call the gear check of the cave, where it's essentially did you collect enough blue chest items in Providence enough times to come in and be able to withstand the power and damage that they bring to the table. But you'll see our players here have to manage with what they have, and they can do a lot of damage quickly if they decide to. But we're not seeing a lot of frenzies. None actually, so very lucky for our runners here as they take these forced encounters.
Yes, we're quite lucky. Like, we don't want to see a run end because of a forced encounter with Bloom. It's like, you never want to see that. We did saw a Red Saber on Kauliarys' side, but he already had a Mist Rapier, so that doesn't really help his chili kill setup.
Nice second Iris item for Team PB&J with an armor from Hoppie.
That would be his third, actually. Like, pretty sure that's the third one we had. Like, Michie found 2 of them already.
So it's 3 for Hoppie's team. Perfect. PB&J's got 3, and I believe I saw that Spartans also had 2 from an earlier.
So PB and JJ need 2 more Iris items to score this little random heavy point. Like, you need to find 5 Iris items in while counting both inventory. So it's really random to get this one. So we see more Garbos on Kauliarys' side. Since he brought Guy to the mix, that's a really, really good item for him, because it feels like if you don't get this item, you have a hard time hearing him for the jelly fight. So that's a sure and easy way to have him ready before like floor 16.
Michie has a tough doorway to the south here that he's gonna have to navigate through.
I saw a deadly on Travi, but that's the only deadly I saw equipped so far. And those devils, like, they're really tough to fight without the deadly or mirror. Like, it's either one of those 2 things, and there seems to be 2 of them at the doorway. Oh, even that encounter here with those green robe fellows, like they're really they can end the run. Like they have party-wide attacks, and they will drain some magic and revives.
Yeah, a unique thing in this game when it comes to magic for both the party and the enemies is that you can spread the damage between any number of targets that you wish to. The advantage to spreading and not spreading. Ooh, wow. A party-wide perish killed Michie's Maxim. That's less than 7%. You don't see that often. That's very rare.
And I want to point
7%
out,
kill.
that he actually took the time to back attack them, meaning that he had a full round to attack them before they go, and he's still struggling to defeat them. Like, that's how tough those enemies are, and you don't want to encounter them.
And yeah, you'll see when you have lower party members up, that magic damage begins to stack very high as it doesn't spread out among the party. So it can get very dangerous very quickly. Luckily, I was able to get out.
On Travi's side, we're messing with the sessions. It was interesting to see how he took the time to count. Yes, at the same time. But Travi had to stop and think about the amount of tiles he had to run before getting back to attack, and it went until the last tile. So really good, well scouted there. We're trying to see if one of them is going to survive a terminal blow. If, like we just saw on Kauliarys' screen, surviving a terminal blow means that's a point for them, because the goal incentive from 31 to 40 is survive an instant attack, and terminal blow is one of them.
Yeah, you'll see that the movement patterns that Michie is dealing with right now, teleporters can be very cruel in the way that they move around you and keep you on your toes. Moving step by step here is going to be huge. And now forced into this room, getting surprise attacked, sandwiched in between. It's these fiend sprites, these two wide sort of big demon looking things. Once they lock onto you, they will follow you wherever you go. They will move up and right, down and towards you on alternating patterns, but every time is going to be towards you. So once they're locked on, they don't stop giving chase.
Saw two interesting things. Kauliarys was just like was able to run out of a party room that would have most likely killed him or made him waste a lot of time. And on Hoppie's screen, we saw a Vile Laugher miss, so that's a point for their team. Like the Shades, they have a 25% instant kill attack. He could secure the point here. He did.
Thankfully, it looks like Michie is faster than these fiends, so he's not too afraid of these sprites right now. All these samurai-looking sprites, though, however, could still be an issue as their movement pattern is one towards the player and then one in a random direction. So they may start to sort of box him in here.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. Should be able to get away from this fight and run for the stairs, but for the door. But let's keep an eye out because there's teleporters buzzing around them. And the teleporters that we see on his screen usually teleports around you. Some of them teleport randomly in the room when they're far away from you, but these ones, they teleport around you when you're near them, obviously.
And we saw Travi step onto a healing tile. There are random bushes in the cave that do spawn with a healing tile underneath them. You can see them visually looking different than any other standard bush. They're pretty easy to spot once you know what to look for. So you can feel pretty lucky when you get those if you're lacking healing spells.
We have an encounter with these devils, with these fiends, my bad. It wasn't forced, but as we saw, like they heal themselves, so sometimes they can give you a nice spell out of it. Maybe we will see the super rare evil jewel drop. But, let's see.
I mean, a decent strat here using Absorb with Artie on these, as they are a high MP enemy, so getting some free magic heals off of a spell that is traditionally not extremely useful, but being able to apply it well is a big deal.
I think I am missing something here because I see Kauliarys fighting bone golems, and I'm not sure why. Like, that's the second encounter with them, but I don't see. Maybe he's going for the weak to thunder attack? I'm not sure. Like, that's the second time we see encounter here. So if anyone has... Oh,
Spell potion.
there you go.
You gotta
One of the
teach
incentives.
Decker. Yep, gotta teach Decker and Guy to read. So I'm gonna touch on that real fast. Decker and Guy are the meatheads of this RPG, as they don't have any MP. They don't have the ability to cast spells, but one of my favorite things, and something that was an added incentive this year, is what I like to call teaching the meatheads to read. By giving them a spell potion, it grants them some maximum MP. So one of the incentives is to have full HP, MP, and IP bars with all characters. And so if you take Decker or Guy or both, that does involve having to find a spell potion and give it to them and healing up that MP.
So we see even more bone golems on Travi's side. One of the interesting thing here is usually anything that looks like an undead is immune to one-shot instant-death attack. But for some reason, they are golems and not undead. So this means the instant-death will work on them. That's some nifty things you learn whenever you start to run the cave more seriously. We saw a lot of cores for Hoppie, so his levels should be fairly good here. And we see some blue cores on Kauliarys. I'm pretty sure he wanted to see greens, but hey, we take whatever we want.
Yep, Curse Lifter for Michie, so if he does end up getting that Deadly Rod, he will have an opportunity to get another fractional attack. I don't think he's gotten a Decker Blade yet, so gonna be interesting to see.
See,
Core for Travi, nice.
we see some Sea Idora on Michie's screen. Those are as like the Garbos earlier. We can have the Idora Rock. This time around, this Idora Rock will give agility too, so it's really good. It's a really good drop. Helps against the jelly. Helps get to the jelly. So overall, great idea.
Yep, it's probably out of all of the agility to jelly kill items, I'd say that Hydora Rocks are probably the most important, as they not only give agility, Twist Jewel may give more, but it's not useful against the jelly. Cancer Rock is useful against the jelly, but doesn't provide any extra agility. So the Hydora Rock is this perfect middle ground item that fills a gem slot, providing a decent amount of agility and a triple attack finisher ability for, and it gives attack power. So it is a very powerful finishing attack for the jelly kill.
We did see a spell potion drop for Travi. He actually used it on Decker, so Decker has 3 MP at this time. For his team, it's a bit easier because Lexus has a pretty MP.
Hoppie is in a really rough room right now. You saw 2 knife throwers, and you see how brutally beat up Hoppie's party looks after 2 of them. 3 of them could have easily wiped out Artie and Maxim. So he is in a position here where he's going to maybe not want to kill these Bryn's lizards so that he can avoid that ninja encounter, but we'll see what he goes for.
We have to mention that he is on level 26 with his party. That's very high once again for ninjas. Usually in any percent you will be around 17, 18, maybe 20 if you're lucky.
Absolutely.
So you can see how deadly they are.
Yeah, so a lot of You can take a lot of what we say as a caveat that our parties and our runners here are more or less going to be a little more well equipped and well prepared for the encounters that they find themselves in. But in a standard any percent run where you're really just trying to race the clock and make some quick moves, uh, these encounters become lethal very quickly.
We started to see a Michie going a bit slower here, and the other runners catching up a bit. Like, we're near the mid 50 for Michie, and the other runners are around 44, 45, 46, if there's ninjas on the screen. So the gap is getting a bit tighter here. This means that the 14 points that the two Spartans have compared to the PB and GG, like, I feel like it's starting to backfire a bit here. The strategy of Michie going straight forward for it.
Still not out though, as it can all very much change depending on the types of rooms that these players get and the types of encounters that they're forced to deal with. As you can see, Hoppie now having to deal with more ninjas.
So yes, it's always one party room away from disaster, right?
Exactly, especially once we get down to the lower or the higher 80s, when all of the metallic dragons are on the board and in the spawn pool. One long hallway full of encounters with silvers and golds can end a run, even with the most talented manipulation of the enemies. So
Kauliarys getting 2 green cores is really, really big.
that's
which means
gonna
that
be huge.
Yep, it's going to be usually as safe or smooth sailing until the next set of cores, which are around 58, 59, and 60.
Yeah, he's already his full party is 28, so I would say well within reason and well leveled to have just essentially run straight to the bottom for the next set of cores. So
we saw some more Idaros on Michie's screen, but sadly no drops. Those ones start to become gambles because if your deadly does not connect, they can really like wipe a party really easy. So yeah, let's keep an eye on Michie's screen. As he's trying to back attack this Idaro that is moving once every 3 times that Maxim move in a random direction. And you don't want to start miscounting because that could mean a surprise attack, and that's the end of the run. So once again, Prince Lizard on the upper screen. We didn't mention, but it's actually a point to drop a jewel from 41 to 50, and those are like the perfect candidate to drop a rock. So let's see if Hoppie can secure a twist jewel. Did not see it. Bolt shield for Hoppie. This is one of the big blue chests that you don't like to see at first, but then you start to learn how good it is against archfiends, and you start falling in love with it.
So later on, we're gonna see those fiend sort of demon sprites come back, and that is going to be one of the most dangerous encounters in the cave, in the form of archfiends. They get to take multiple actions, and those actions can be multiple spell casts of thunder, which the bolt shield can basically neutralize, but they cast it in a very powerful form, and if they can wipe out enough party members, and there's 2 of them in an encounter, then like I said before, that damage spread across the party from multi-targeting spells starts to really build up, and suddenly you go from a great run to a dead one.
Michie is in an interesting party room. Most of the monsters in there will try to follow him around. Like the red golems, red tall guys, they follow you around as you get close. The purple ones, they slowly creep toward you, so you start to get bucks really easily in those kind of part of it if you're not careful.
Thankfully, only one magma gorm in this encounter, so he should be able to clean it up no problem.
It should be a fairly set of easy monsters, to be honest, but it's the time loss.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's just managing all of the movement and making sure that you don't get caught off guard, because your timer is going to suffer for every encounter that you have to deal with, especially if they get a surprise on you.
So still messing with the ninjas on Hoppie screen. So this brings us to the halftime, like we're almost going through the 1 hour mark. 11 to 15. I feel like it's still anyone's game, to be honest. We have the plus 10 points for the jelly kill with Lexus, which could swing anywhere around. We have Michie that could Providence and do all the goals his team skipped early on.
Exactly. So that's kind of another strategy that Michie can implement with his strategy currently, is if he finds himself in a situation where there's no chance of a jelly kill, or he finds himself in a lethal hallway where he won't be able to get past, he could Providence and use what remaining time he has to go and pick up some of those earlier incentives that he skipped over initially.
We link the tracker once again if you want to see what we're talking about. On the left side it's the Spartans, and on the right side of this page you have PB and GG.
And get some no-core action for Michie here.
No cores, well, they lost all their colors, but they gained all the XP. So gaining one of them usually means you have a chance of surviving deadly attacks that left in the cave.
And you can see an example of that over or under flow magic resistance. A tier 1 spark spell just dealt 400 some odd damage to the core, so you can see how sort of glitched that magic resistance is on these enemies.
So 2 no cores for Michie, which means he's level 32, which is at least 3 or 4 levels higher than what we would have in a regular any percent.
Absolutely.
So
He's very set to move quickly. It's just a matter of him getting the correct items now.
I don't remember seeing a deadly on him, or...
Nope. No deadly, no deckers.
Yeah, we haven't seen any Digger Blades as far as I'm concerned. So hopefully we see some of them, because there's not a lot of options to kill the jelly without the Digger Blade, honestly. What else? We have 17 points. We didn't miss the 2 last points. Let's see the tracker to see what the Spartan scored. So one of them did the full IP, full MP, and full HP. So someone gave MP to Decker. So that's one nifty thing that you'll see in the Jelly Jam, but you'll never see in a regular game. We're having a good old laugh with this, as we explained before.
Travi with full MP, IP, and HP. Good stuff. Love to see full bars.
Hoppie is having not a fun time here with the Iron Gorms and Ninjas. Ooh! And the surprise attack. So that was kind of a misstep here. He swung the sword one too many times and got surprised by Iron Gorms. The levels are so good that it shouldn't be an issue, but still a time loss. Like a huge time sink. Because we did see other runners in this particular tournament wiping on Iron Gorms, so it's always not nice to see.
I have personally wiped some iron kicks, so I know the pain. When you move fast, that's a big part of this. The faster you move and the lower leveled you are, the more risky every encounter becomes, and sometimes getting a good time means going through quite some scary situations.
We did see a Hydra rock drop for Michie, so really starting to have the pieces for a jelly kill. We're missing mostly a thicker blade for Michie. We have We have I think we have a finisher, like a 3x on Maxim. So we would have a Hydra and a Cancer Rock for Lexus and RT. Really only needing a Dicker Blade. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we saw Travi just get a point incentive that takes some knowledge of enemy movement and how they perform against doors. So teleporters, you can force them to teleport into the same square that you are already standing in, but it does take some specific setup. And we see that Travi's knowledge of that setup pays off right here as he gets the encounter, gets the surprise attack, and gets the encounter in the same square point. So well done there.
It's a half point, so both of them have to do it to get to score the point. And if you were here a couple of weeks ago when I was running, I had absolutely no idea how to do it, because usually when you run the cave, you go at a good pace, they teleport on you by accident. Like, it always happened. So I was not aware how to do it, and I think we all took a good laugh at seeing me trying to do it for 5 minutes. So it's something that you have to learn.
If you want to know how scoring works, you can click on the tracker link, and that will show you all the incentives that our teams are trying to achieve. Some are single, some are team-oriented goals, some are bound to different floor sort of ranges. So lots of different things to keep track of as we go. We'll do our best to point it out, though.
So we can see on Travi's screen, he's messing with sirens. Sirens are one of the enemies that easily affect you with conditions, and we have 1 point to have 2 party members have a condition. So fairly easy to get the element and just run. So hopefully that's what we'll see.
Should happen here.
I'm seeing a sort of loss of frame on the Spartan side. So
Yep, he got it. I see Decker, Lexus, and Maximus sleep. So
he did play with fire though, because he had them going for a full round before he ran. So he got lucky that RT wasn't affected by anything, because if all the party members are affected by sleep, confusion, or something like that, you cannot input run, and that's when you fall into the I'm wasting 10 minutes of my life watching them do attack on. Let's take a look at the points incentive, because they're mostly all at the same range here, where we have the status element, the conditions from 51 to 60. Travi just did that, so we will see the other Hoppie and Kauliarys do that. We have Michie that found a Hydra Rock. Here the goal is to have 2 Hydra Rocks split between 2 teams, so one of each. One of them have 1, or one member has 2. Michie has 1, so if Hoppie can find 1, they will score a point here.
And we just saw Travi feed the infamous Berserk Blade to his capsule monster. The thing about the Berserk Blade is that it is a cursed item, so once you equip a cursed item, the only way to unequip it is to use a curse lifter on it. Now, the Berserk Blade has a very high attack power, so one of the tricky things is if you hop into your equip menu and you just click strongest, it could potentially slap your Berserk Blade onto one of your team members. So you'll see a lot of runners like to, as soon as they pick it up, they'll go and feed it to their capsule monster or just throw it out of their inventory outright, because equipping a cursed item like the Berserk Blade can really ruin a run, because that very important weapon slot is now taken up by something that's nearly useless.
Travi is doing the correct maneuvers to get a back attack on the Hydras. Like we mentioned a bit earlier, usually you don't want to have them attack at all, because they couldn't wipe you easily, but we're so high level here that it shouldn't be an issue. Because this run seems to be highlighted by a lot of cores, a lot of experience, but not a lot of deadlies and no Decker Blades at all.
I would say that we are seeing a lot of survivability and durability in the run, but not a lot of killability. We're not seeing a lot of the items necessary.
We have 2 fatal picks on. I think it's Travi and Oppie that have one, but I'm not sure exactly who has one. I know Travi has one, but I don't know where's the second one. But even there's no deadly rods to uncurse and have a good item for the jelly kill. So we might see some Gorgon rock hunting a bit later. But even then, all of them have curse lifters, or at least one. There's the Fort Iris for Oppie's team.
Nice.
So if we see a Iris item on Oppie or Michie's screen, that means a point for them. It's really rare to actually have a lot of Iris item like that.
Michie is finally getting a payoff here. Getting a deadly, has a curse lifter, and a lizard blow. So definitely, once he can find a Decker blade, he's gonna be in a really good position.
Because he has the Idaho Rock, he has the Cancer Rock, so yeah, mostly missing a good solid item for Decker. Usually we would like to see the Decker blade like you mentioned. Maybe a Myth blade?
Yep, I was gonna say a Myth blade could do it. It would be close, but I think with his current setup, Uncursed Deadly Rod, Myth blade, Hydora, and Cancer, he could make it work. It'll be close, but it is definitely on the table.
He might have to forgo the Capsule Monster incentive, just like swapping to one that would deal more damage or consistently do more damage, but that would mean losing a point. We'll see. We just saw some nifty footsteps by the samurais. Like side attack.
Missed deflect for Michie, trying to get the silence on the Sphinxes here.
That's one status element that they're weak to. And that's a second miss. Usually you would never see... I didn't even know that the animation looked like that, to be completely honest. That's the kind of spell you never cast. But here in Jelly Jam, that's the kind of thing we do. Like we have some crazy incentive, you have to learn some tricky stuff, and that's why we're here. Like it's super fun to see those.
Yeah, it's these types of tournaments really encourage lots of knowledge and application of different items, statuses, and weaknesses, and resistances throughout the cave. It provides a challenge beyond just making it to the jelly. And it gives incentives to try more risky strats and to get into encounters that we normally wouldn't see. So it does really get to show off a lot of what the Ancient Cave has to offer that you may not see in any sort of standard run.
So pay attention to Kauliarys' screen, the siren thing that we mentioned, where you can get kind of soft lock. Could be happening. So let's just make sure that we have Kauliarys getting 2 status ailment and then input run before he gets affected. So like, just what he did there is very dangerous. If all 4 of them gets a status ailment, he won't be able to run away. But that's 2 of them. Let's see what the other siren does. Examine. Okay, we're fine. RT did not get affected by anything, so we can input run, and they're not slow, but usually running away against them is easy. There's no issues. And even if you input the run and had 4 members sleeping, it doesn't matter. You'll still be able to run. So that's an easy point for Kauliarys there. We're starting to see that the gap is really like spreading, and like we mentioned, we still have the possibility of having Michie teleport and using the Providence and redo the goals, but we only have 45 minutes left. So time is getting tight. We see a leech on Michie's screen, that's not an enemy you want to see. Like they, in our case here, there's only one, so they cannot kill you. But that enemy can teleport on top of you or next to you, and surprise you, meaning that they can have up to 4 magic attack before you get the go, like before you get the run. So that's not something you want to see. Like Ice Bulk will kill you. Kauliarys is doing the either a rock hunting, so we see 1 movement, 2 slash, 1 movement, 2 slash, because they move 1 tile for each of your tree. So we're just trying to make the Hydra dance with them, so they look back, they look towards something, toward the wall, and you just back attack them easily and freely. Because if we look at it right now, it looks silly, but that's the proper way to do it. You need to learn doing this tricky dance with them if you want to be successful and find some Hydra rocks.
Here's some potential points
Yes.
for Michie, but not the kind of encounter you want to see for the boat. But, you know, double boat would be the best for the incentive. But if he kills off the leech and runs away without the boat getting more companions in there, it will pay off.
That is saying that they are on floor 70 and not 71, so let's make sure that they're not clicking the thing yet. Well, they didn't get the surprise anyway.
Yeah, Michie absolutely destroying that boat with a critical attack there.
RP is getting the siren treatment. I have not checked if he inputted run here. That's 2 of them getting status ailments, so that's the point at least. He did not. You should be fine here. That's an easy run.
See, as far as people, oh, double boats. There you go. Lots of boats. You can see people are catching up to Michie as far as the floor spread, but they are still going to be performing all. Ooh, a Hydora rock for Travi. He didn't have to hunt for very long. But I was just going to say that a lot of these racers are going to have to continue to do the same types of things that Michie did. So it still may take them some time to catch up even farther. So he still does have a little bit of leeway.
See some cores on Kauliarys and Travi. Those are the last set of cores we'll encounter in the cave, so you want to see those no cores to get some XP boost getting into the dangerous floor after. The goal incentive from 71 to 80 is a bit tricky. You have to survive a full round of attack from an Orky. This is where we'll be going next. So we'll point it out whenever they show up on screen. Floor 62 on Travi. This is starting to get like a bit dire. Like those floors are usually nasty. You have Warm Eyes that are coming up, Gold Gorons, White Dragons. All of those things can kill you way quick or way easily. So let's pay attention to those screens. I want to point out also that Hoppie, during his fight against the Siren, we saw RT kill himself. Like, he never misses when he hits himself. Like, he will miss most of the time when he attacks something important, but when he attacks himself, he always hits. We're seeing some sleep straps on Mega Cyclops. Is it because... Oh no, okay, Michie has a deadly on. I did not know. Oh yeah, it's a deadly rod we talked about. My bad. So Hoppie is farming the Idora Rock. We know that Michie has one, so if we get 1 drop for Hoppie, that's a point for them. We get some Salamanders on Travi's screen. Usually more annoying than anything. They get in the way and cast some Firebirds. So they leech a lot of your magic. Champion on Travi. That's a heal. I'm not sure if he had a good heals. But that one will allow you to farm IT really easily. Good find. We see Michie is trying to set up the Orkies. Like, we have those 8-headed monsters. They also attack 8 times a turn, and the goal here is to survive their attack.
Well, what's even better is if they use their special attack, which is called the Octo Head Blast. It is just an AoE that doesn't have too much power, so they will need to kill off this current or deal with that and still survive the outcome here.
The current is not so threatening, so this is the perfect scenario to set this point up. So he's taking extra caution, making sure that he can kill the current and most likely re-engage right after. Because I see some status ailment going on the Yorkie. Otherwise, on this side we have a Black Dragon on the Kauliarys screen. We could see a Dark Fruit drop, which means it could set up another point, but that's a really tough point here. If you check the tracker, we have a point incentive to hold both the Holy Fruit and the Dark Fruit. Dark Fruit is not the issue. Like, those dragons are easy to fight. They might surprise you here and there, but if you have a heal, they're no biggie. But it's the Holy Fruit that is really hard to get by.
So this, yeah, the Orky normalizes. The confusion would have been very powerful here, as it basically causes the Orky to only use attack, which would have been very helpful for the point incentive.
We have Travi here missing 2 deflects in a row on the Sphinx. I think he missed 3 actually. Okay, there you go. This one connected. So that's a point for Travik's team. Silencing a Sphinx is the 61 to 70 goal. We have a Gold Gorm on Kauliarys' screen. We do not want to mess with them. They tend to do a Golden Mist attack that can wipe your team. Seems like a good movement. There you go. Well done. We have the White Dragon, like those worms or dragons, like they have access to party white attacks and they can wipe the team really quickly.
Yeah, a lot of these late floor enemies, for the most part, have access to some attacks or abilities that can really throw your encounter for a loop, but they can also be very kind to you. It just begins to become more of a gamble to not get the surprise attacks at these later floors.
We're actually seeing some Ice Valk. We're losing frame here, but we see some Ice Valk, so I think he engaged the dragon and they had to attack. That's scary. That's actually scary. Okay. We are good. This
you can see Travi using Shield and Magic Guard to build up his magic resistance to get the point for maxing out a stat buff.
There you go. That's a good point. I feel like the point difference is going to get a bit too tough for PB and GG to climb back here. 11 points.
If Michie finds a Decker Blade and hustles, 20 points could put them well above that threshold.
Yes.
Again, it's a eggs in the basket strategy, but it could pay off.
Another curse lifter for Travi. He's drowning in them. We're seeing a Minotaur or Gorgon on the Michie screen. Those guys can drop what the Gorgon Rock, and this is a jewel that allows you to do a 1/8 of the maximum HP of the current HP of a monster. So that's always a decent backup for the jelly fight. I don't think his setup needs it, but so it's interesting to see that he fights him.
Holy Fruit drop for Kauliarys.
Oh, that's interesting. Because like I said, the Holy Fruit is the hardest one to get. The Dark Fruit is fairly easy to get. They won't kill you or do. nothing bad will happen there. But it's a good setup for them. Right? Oh, Kauliarys on his side, the first deflect actually connects, and that's an easy point for them. Like we saw the two other runners that attempted have their deflect keep on missing, but not for Kauli. 466. We are 35 minutes. There's 35 minutes left. I feel like there's really a good case of seeing more than one jelly if we start to see some items to kill it. Like we're not trying to jinx it, but all 4 runners alive by this time is really nice. That's the kind of race we want to see. Once again, Hoppie is getting Blizzard after fighting all the Idaros. Blizzard is a sure way to kill the Idara without being in danger. But you always find this spell after seeing Idaros. Oh, he's on 59, so there's still 2 floors for him to actually find it. I'm really scared by Trevi fighting those white dragons all the time. Thank you. This team is fighting more white dragons than I'd ever want to fight. It's making me nervous.
They are one of the scarier non-metallic dragons. Probably one of the scariest, actually.
Oh.
Short of blue dragons.
We saw an old armor on Kauliarys. That's not the whole weapon we want. We want to see an old sword. That would be another fractional weapon. But the old armor here it's good, but very forgettable. I mean, it gives attack power, but hey, it's not as exciting as an old sword would be. Oh, I did miss what happened on Travi's side.
Yep, the blue dragon and the lunar bear bringing the lightning, bringing the Ryo, and there you have it. As quickly as you can say, rip, the encounter is done, and that is how fast your run can end. The ancient cave. I mean, based on the point tally for Trav, he
doesn't have a lot to do, to be honest. We have the fruit.
Yep, he could get to 21 to 30 and grab the fruit. He could attempt to go and grab 2 sour ciders and 2 charred newts. So he still has a couple of points that he can go pick up. He's not out of it completely. He still can contribute to the team's point goals. Ooh, old sword for Michie. Really not the absolute best option, but an option. Something that opens up the potential for
really
a jelly kill.
Goes really well. I did see a mid blade in there, so we have a mid and a whole sword.
He has a myth blade? I missed that. If he has a myth blade right now, and an old sword, and then oh, there it is. I am a little behind you. So he is very well off to get the jelly kill now.
Because mid blade, old cancer.
Just get there.
Yeah, mid blade, old cancer, something, either off for Lexus. He has a curse lifter for Artie. Like, man, that's a good shot at the jelly here. Really, really good shot.
Yeah, this if he can navigate his way down there safely and manage to get into that fight and get it finished before the 15-minute remaining mark, that's going to be 25 points. So,
Kauli is not having fun with the Genies here. Like, that's exactly what you don't want to see. Like,
and you know what? Regarding that, notice that Kauli and Michie are both encountering Earth Genies now. Kauli has made a lot of time up to catch up to Michie, but we also see that Michie is a lot better off in regards to a jelly kill. So it's really going to be a tight race here.
If we can answer chat, we had one runner like really going for any percent there. Like we have Michie that forego a lot of early points just to go as fast as possible, because for this third place race, third place race, yeah, we have a special incentive of making a lot of points with killing the jelly. So the strat of PB and GG is to just slam it down and go to the jelly. But that's why we have such a different score here.
But what's really upsetting now is that he's facing down a forced Archfiend battle here, so really
Level 38.
prepare. Yeah, he's well off, don't get me wrong, but Archies, no matter how well off you are, can and will end a run if it doesn't go your way.
There's an enemy that can wipe you. It's those ones. I think Kauliarys is setting up the Orky point. Octoblast. Oh yeah, that's an easy point for them actually.
Yep. And to note, the really big important thing about Archfiends is that you can't surprise attack them. That sprite does not allow for surprise attacks. Either way.
Yeah.
But it still makes it so that you have to go into this fight in a fair sort of by order of operations, and they tend to always be faster. So it's
This
gonna
time
be... Oh, lucked out and only got the Ice Rogues. They
Yep.
share the same sprite as Archfiends, but they are the much well-preferred enemy to run into. They still have powerful abilities like Cruel Storm, but they are much more manageable compared to Archfiends, so very lucky here.
Yeah, usually when you see those, there's a sight of relief that is done. Like the the worst thing they can do is fill you with IP. So, and when you're at level 38, it's just like half the thing. We have Oppie that is setting up the deflect on the Sphinx. He also gets it first time around, so that's a point for them. Easy point. As we can see, Travi is beaming down the stairs. He's already on floor 11. Like level 1, didn't fight anything. We're running. He's trying to get to the fruit floor as fast as he can. I think it's the second magic fruit from Michie. Considering that he just went down like crazy, I don't think he will feed, but that it could be a possibility to feed from 1 to 4 on floor 91 to 98. Because magic fruits really makes you don't really care about learning how to feed. They just fill the feeding bar really quickly. Alright, what do we have? 77 for Michie, so 22 more floors to go. Don't get me wrong, those are the toughest ones to go, but 28 minutes and 22 floors to go. Let's go. 77 for Oppie, just inside the Leech territory. We touched a bit on them earlier. Those monsters are really not cool. You don't want to see them. Travi is actually fighting the lizards here to get some charred newts, which he drops. So we will see more charred newts and sour cider, hopefully for Travis Kieran. We are starting to see a lot more genies on screen. Those monsters are really intricate because when they lock on you, they kind of run after you until they can reach you, or they you get out of line of sight. So it's really easy to get boxed in by a false movement and be like, oh, I have to encounter that. Those monsters have usually 3 options when they attack you. They either suck off your MP, defend, or do a party-wide attack. So it can turn sour really, really quickly, or they can be just like, hey, I'm getting all the MP.
I think for Michie's strategy to pay off, he is going to have to get this sub 145 kill, or it's going to be too close for comfort. Oh no. Hoppie face checking into Blue Dragon, Lunar Bear.
The face checks. Oh, yeah. Floor 70, so if Oppie wants to mess with the Orky, he has to go 1 more floor. 70 doesn't count for that. talk about this. So as I mentioned earlier, we have some the wood gorms and the other guy. I just forgot their name. Travi is looking for those sour ciders to score the easy point that he has laying around in his floors.
I need to make a correction. I am being told by the event organizer that I am spreading misinformation. There is not a point incentive for the 145 jelly kill in this marathon. It has been in many past Ancient Cave Run marathons like this, so apparently my brain did not evolve along with this event. So,
No,
my bad. So, it's going to be a tight race regardless. Kauli does need to get that kill if Michie does to make this as tight as possible.
Okay, the deadly actually hit on that Orky. I was getting scared here. Seeing two Orkies on the screen is never a good thing. You don't want to see those. Like, we have a point incentive, and that's why we have a point incentive with them, because they're deadly. But here we don't score the point. I think he was still on 70 anyway. Ooh, wind genies for Michies. Uh-oh, he's getting trapped. It's not good. Michie is getting trapped between wind genies and a chariot. But that's not a good place to be. Like, it's easy to lose all your IP here, and this means that you have to grind all of the IP again. Kauliarys and Travi seems to be talking, like they're not moving, and there's a Archfiend sprite next to Kauli. Let's see what they do. Because we didn't mention it, but the team are talking on Discord. They're actively talking together, they're strategizing, they're doing the best they can with their knowledge together. Alright, Michie managed to get away, retake this room, reset it. Oh, he got lucky there that there was no Archfiend with the chariots, because sometimes those chariots sprite have a chariot and an Archfiend. And while it won't wipe you, it will make sure that you lose IP, and once again you have to farm it back all again. What else do we have for points? If we check the tracker together, we have all party members having 0 MP. This one is really tough because you have to stop actively doing what you're doing. Either you get all your MP removed by a genie, or you have to do the maths and check your spell list and be like, okay, how do I land at 0? Because if you land at 1, you're screwed. And you have to redo the whole process again. So yeah, it's a really tough point. So I'm not sure if they will be doing it. Because the Orky point, everyone that was in the 71 to 80 bracket, they all did it. Once again, Kauli seems to be forced into an all-way with a Archfiend sprite. You never know if it's two Archies. Well, there's actually ways to know about it, but even then, you're never sure if it's only that. You see he's trying his best to not encounter it multiple times. Thinking about it a lot. My bad, I just read chat. Right there. 73 for Oppie with 22 minutes left, so this means a floor minute for Oppie if he wants to get to the jelly. Because when you are in the jelly floor, we allow the players to do whatever they want to do for their setup. Like, you just have to reach the jelly before 2 hours to be able to fight it. So, at some point you might want to go as fast as you can just to get there. And the sprite that Kauli has to fight is an Archie and a Leech. It's not two Archies, so there's that.
Well, you know, Archie Leech can be sometimes more dangerous than double Archie. It just They're both very crappy options when faced with that type of encounter.
And here with Guy dying, this means that he has to farm IP again on him. And this takes a while. Like, you have to set up, you have to find a monster that is not able to kill you too quickly, but able to deal enough damage so that the bar actually moves. Is he encountering it again? I'm confused here. Oh, it's another one. Wow, talk about unlucky here. Like 2 fights back to back with Archfiend and Leech.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see.
And once again, you will have to encounter it multiple times. This means that you lose MP because you have to heal in between. You have to open the menu. You're losing time. You're getting frustrated. That's not a good place to be. Like, it's not fundamental here. Because you're always away from, hey, oh, maybe I'll have a
double stronger day.
Oh.
A rare, kind Archfiend that just felt like healing himself.
Ooh, double Archie for Hoppie. In a doorway. That's not something you want to see. You don't want to see an Archfiend sprite with 2 Archfiends in a doorway, and Michie too. Oof. We're not having a lot of fun with the Archfiend sprites in this run. Like, it was going very well, but here we're getting to a stall because of them.
And this is basically what happens with the cave. You get to these later floors, and these floor layouts and enemy setups can be seemingly overly cruel.
Yeah.
And it becomes quite the slog to just survive and make it through to the next floor. Some great movement by Kauli, taking a risk there.
Pay special attention to Michie's screen. Like, fighting those two is really a all or nothing. Oh, when RT just missed, like, the blind elf that he is. That's bad.
Never want to see that.
Nope, you don't want to see that. Okay, there's a stronger at least. 2 stronger. Oh, he got lucky there. So Thunder, Gloomy, stronger. That's okay, to be honest. And also on top, we can see that Hoppie is having issues on its own with the Archie and the Leech. Like, both of them are stalled completely by those such Retreat Sprite. I see that the chat is asking about the schedule. There's going to be the grand final of the Jelly Jam right after this one. Today is the last day. We have the current race is for the 3rd place. That's why we have this awesome incentive of killing the jelly. But after that, we have the grand final. We see the smoke ball on Hoppie screen. That's a clever play here.
Yeah, keeps his IP up and gives him another chance to heal up and maybe make this encounter work out.
Destroy on RT and we're fine. And that's the kind of spot in the cave where you're sweating bullets, you're not having fun, you're getting, like, it's a hustle, it's a grind to get out of there, you're looking at the MP that is going lower because you're using a lot of spells. It's tough times. But good for the PB and GG team here. Like, they're really grinding those last floors.
Yeah, and Michie makes it through safely. He's to 85 now. Just needs to make some moves and not get some bad hallways here.
I'm stealing the term from another game, but I feel like whenever you hit 88, that's the victory road. Like, you don't have any Archfiends left, you only have dragons and teleporters. Some issues can happen, but usually it's the safer spot of the hand of the cave. Like 88 plus, you don't have the Archfiends around.
Oh, double thunder for Michie. Let's see what this chariot does.
Just giving all the IP in the world.
Ooh,
all
lucky.
the IP.
The chariot hits Decker. Does not need to grind that IP again.
I did not see how Kauli got into a fight with 2 Archfiends, but it just goes with the rest of this run, right? Like, they're just getting stalled out. It's insane. Talk about unlucky. Like, there's Archfiend Sprite all across the screen. And meanwhile, Travi is fighting those Sandgorms to get
Oh,
the jewel,
Michie.
the fruit. Oh, that's a party room you don't want to
Fortunate
see.
party room. At late floors like this, and as tight as party rooms can be with these massive sprites and teleporters, this is gonna drain a lot of time for him to try and manage his way through here.
And like I mentioned earlier, the genies tend to lock on you and run toward you, so these alone makes Treasure Room really harder than it should.
Wow, he was able to just walk straight down. Lucky
Let's
placement.
go.
That was excellent.
And that brings him to 88, which means all of the nasty sprites are mostly gone. You only have dragons, which can contain copper, silver, or gold dragons, and the green teleporters. Don't get me wrong, if you collide with the green teleporter, you will most likely go back to base, but they have a predictable pattern, actually. You just have to make sure that you're careful.
Yeah, at this point, barring any really rude hallways with dragons in them, Michie should have a decent run to the bottom here.
Hoppie.
Oh.
Oh, okay. The story missed at least. Because you don't want to see like a destroy on a tanky character and then having 3 spell grinding you.
Yep, and Michie finds himself in a situation where he's either going to have to kill this dragon or take a risky step onto these stairs and hope for a 50-50.
Once again, no one died. We have to thank the fact that all of them got a lot of cores, a lot of experience, because usually you're level 27, 28, or 29, like they would be
Actually,
dead 15 times already.
A very interesting thing with this bush in the hallway the way it is, Michie is safe where he stands, and if he can move the dragon into the bottom left corner, he can make a move around and perfect. He gets in first here, and now he's going to be able to walk right onto the stairs safely. So really well managed hallway there with the dragon movement.
190. That's the good part of the cave. Looking forward to see some jelly there. Meanwhile, Kali is grinding IP against the genies. Like I said, you're always one attack away from being nearly dead against those. So don't sleep on the genies just because they're not archfiends and we've been ranting around with the archfiends. As you can see on the Hoppie screen, actually, like they went with ground shock and three party members are dead. Oh, and the defend there. Oh, Hoppie got lucky here. Okay, don't disrespect the genies. They will let you know that you're disrespecting them by not acknowledging that they can kill you. Luckily for Hoppie, there's at least 5 miracles, so we're good. Travi is grinding and trying to have this rare torrent guy showing up. It's a point incentive that is super interesting, and you have to get some knowledge. But yeah, this one can take well over 10 minutes. But that's a lot of good points for them. Because we're still 12 points away. And RP is around 76, I think? No. So, yeah, 76, I think. So let's see if we can make it to the jelly here. 79, that's better. So 20 floors and 12 minutes to do it. Kauliarys is going around. Oh, it's only an ice rogue. Easy. Kauliarys is 1 floor away from that fictionary victory road that I was talking about. So 88 will remove all of those nasty genies. And oh, what's going on Michie's screen? I'd never like to see those 3 guys.
You can see that teleporting movement. He wanted to get over to that chest, and it chose to teleport right into his face.
Oof.
You have to be you have to treat every teleporter in every room as if they are about to encounter you on every step. And if you hold your input in a direction for too long, oh my gosh, nobody dies. That is the best outcome that he could have hoped for.
And
like survivability, I didn't doubt, but the fact that he didn't have a death,
yeah,
is very big there.
And while we're ranting about that, there's still an Archfiend sprite for Hoppie, and RT misses again because Blind Elf at work. So yeah, let's see if he can make it out. There's no more capsule monster, so he's very vulnerable. I think that's it. Like, he won't be able to run. So yeah, unless we get too stronger, Hoppie's wiping. Yep, that's unfortunate. There's a wipe for Hoppie here. But this leaves only 2 runners in contention for the jelly. Please press F for Hoppie in the chat. Yeah, I mean, it was just no luck. Like, it's not any bad moves or anything. They're just being tossed so many Archfiend sprite that it's insane. Like, 4 runners. I'm happy to be on commentary and not running this one. Like, there's so many of those. It's insane.
Michie finding a good series of stairs here. Definitely has the opportunity, has some room. This dragon is being a little problematic. Oh man. Kali in a tight area here with some dragons.
And you never want to face check them, because if it's Gold Goron, you're going back at the same place that Hoppie just went, to the teleporter. So yeah, never face check a dragon, and it's such a small room that any mistake will punish you really harshly.
Yep, and Kali is essentially if Michie can make it to the jelly, I see a kill. So Kali is basically needing to answer back and make it down there at the very least.
One more floor for Michie.
Yep. Michie,
oh, is it going? It's going for the feeding.
Yep. Michie's gonna feed up. He's got time. He's gonna need that extra potential cushion from some capsule monster attacks. So I honestly don't think it matters which one he uses at this point. Just a few special attacks coming in just to get some extra damage should ensure a kill with his setup right now and his levels.
Alright, so it's super nice from Michie to start feeding, because this leaves us able to focus on Kali. Kali had a silver dragon on that small hallway, so good thing he didn't rashly run in there, because he could have died. So let's keep an eye on Kali here, while Travi is still fighting that green play to get the torrent. Like, it's insane. He's going a squealer his money back. Like, that's at least 10 or 15 minutes. Oh, diamond dust for Kali. We don't want to see a lot of those. Oh, I think for Kali the IP is going to be an issue here. Like, 2 deaths, 7 minutes, 7 floors to go.
That's he's gonna have to find a copper, and he's going to have to get lucky with some cinder blasts.
Ooh, 2 gold gorms here, 2 gold dragons here.
Yeah, the silver and gold dragon variations are extremely powerful. The silvers get to act twice. The golds get to act 3 times. So if you don't encounter them with a surprise attack, you can almost guarantee that you will be dying.
Kali with the mid-blade.
That opens up a lot of potential for Kali to get the kill here. Needs to get that IP now.
I mean, it goes from impossible to somewhat possible. Like,
somewhat probable.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't give him a good shot at good odds, but still, it's moving from 0% to something.
Yeah, and he picks up a subpar finishing weapon. So, options is what he has, but
Oh, I don't like those 4 guys. Though.
That's
Was that a
if
surprise? No, it's not a surprise.
it was not. But if Artie goes down here, it's gonna be a rough climb back.
It was to answer the chat. It was Travi that got the Idle Rock. So unless they got the point, they don't have it. While we see Kali running away, like I did mention that we should focus on him, but there's some really nice quality feeding going on Michie's screen. Like, if you want to clip that, rewatch how to feed, like we're having a really great example of how the feeding works. Like, yeah, I really want to praise his work.
Travi finds
Yes.
the torrent summon.
We need the
So
fire
he'll be
attack
able
on
to
it.
Pick that up.
And there you go, you have the spark, so that's another point for the team. Well, it's actually 2 points because it's a monster that usually doesn't show up, and killed it with fire. Floor 95 for Kali, this means 5 minutes and 3 floors to go. Still possible. Ooh, he's going slowly, you can see it. He's dancing slowly but steady. He's still opening because you never know if you can find this mythical thicker blade on floor 98 or 97. Like, this changed the whole run from to let's go. We see some awesome stuff on Michie's screen. Let's pay attention to this. If you have a calculator, I suggest you whip it out. And we aim to do 99... I'm pretty sure you can say this better than me. 99,000? No.
9,980 damage.
Yes, exactly. In 3 turns.
Point shy of 10k.
So you need to do this within 3 turns. If you go over 3 turns, it just runs away and says, well, better luck next time. So the strategy here is to have, like you can see, he's going over his equipment over and over. You want to make sure that you don't forget something silly. But you want to use the fractional weapons first, and after that, in the late turns, using the Hydra or the Cancer that he has. Alright, let's check this out.
Alright. Big money, big prizes. No whammy.
Yes. He has a really good shot, let's be honest. It's the best shot you can have without having a Decker
Without
Blade and a
having a
Gavis.
Decker Blade, he definitely has a solid setup. This is a Deckerless build that I see working out.
Trick also. Let's go. It's really hype. Like, I want people to be hype about this. It's really cool to see this.
Yeah, seeing a non-Decker Blade jelly kill is pretty unique.
As you can see, the 2 other runners are just looking at it. It's like, it's insane. But it's all or nothing here. Like, if they get the kill, they might run away with the victory. If they don't, they lose. So it's all or nothing. Like, the whole stick of Michie going as crazily as fast as he could early on when forgetting the points might pay off here. We have a good
Heck,
tracking of
boomer
chat.
perhaps? No, okay.
So after 2 rounds, we have 7,210 damage done. So this makes it very tight, to be honest. Like, it's going to go
it's
down
gonna
to the
be
wire.
really close.
Down to the wire. He's taking his time, thinking about it. Let's go. We want the capsule monster to do something good here. Like, any attack would be insane. Dragon Rush. Ooh, that's a big Dragon Rush. Oh, 9,677. Like, that's so...
Wow.
That's so close. Like, heartbreaking moment here.
Literally so close.
And if you look at it, you have Kali that is stuck. That, Like, you're not getting to the jelly within 1 minute 30. Like,
Was that 3 points shy of a kill?
no, 232.
Oh, gotcha. 233. I thought it was literally 90,
203, my bad.
977, 203 points away. Got it. 3 points would have been so painful. But wow, that was insanely close.
Yeah, like the all or nothing strategy almost worked here. And like I'm saying, you have 1 minute and 3 dragons to fight to go to the next floor. And I'm sorry, I couldn't pay attention if it was 97, 98 that Kali is on. But I'm not sure we're going to see any more jellies here.
Yeah, yeah, Kali is definitely stuck in a bad spot here. You know what's funny, man? If Michie would have gotten that kill, it would have been their game.
Yep,
Absolutely.
all or nothing almost went.
You can see how that strategy literally almost paid off. It was sound. There was nothing wrong about that strategy, and that's kind of what's cool about this event right here is that between both teams and playstyles, we got to see a very close race all the way up to the last minute. So GG's runners. Thank you very much for an amazing Jelly Jam
this is time
third
here.
place run here. So
that was the official time from the stream. So 30-17 is your final score. We have the 2 Spartans taking the 3rd place of the competition. We will have some discussion with the teams. We will have some debrief. And after this, I think it's scheduled in 30 minutes. We were going to have the mighty finals of this tournament. We will have some new commentators, some new teams, and you're going to see this crazy thing again. So stick around for this. I am going to attempt to summon the Elison. So to know which team gets into voice and what's happening next.
yeah, and just a heads up, go follow all these wonderful runners. Go follow Lufia2 on Twitch. Check out the Discord if you're interested at all in this speedrun. I would say that it's honestly super easy to pick up and just start throwing attempts at. And the more you play it, the better you'll get, and suddenly you're going to have incredible times, and you're going to be having an incredible time playing this game. So check it out for anybody who's interested. Please, if you played this game as a youngin', if you're just an avid RPG speedrunner, or you're very casual, this is such a very new beginner-friendly run. Anybody can literally pick up and play this game. Unlocking gift mode can be done in under 5 minutes with some nifty glitches that we have discovered. So you can be up and running gift mode Ancient Cave speedruns in a matter of minutes, and you'll never want to go back.
Yep, that's the thing. Like the first any percent you will do is going to be 3 hours. Then you're going to grind. You're going to get 2 hours. Like it's very fun. It's a very fun speedrun. It's not as heavy as others could be. And I am being informed that we're still going for the jelly kill for Kali. Our organizer, the Elison, really wants to see some jelly. So let's get another attempt here. So if you have your calculator up again, so let's check that out.
Yeah, the kill was so close. He was right about there. I figured that the guy deserved a shot.
Let's try it.
The guy absolutely
so close,
deserved a shot. And at this point, I'm going to bring in Traviktox as well. Travik, you are in the commentary group as well, so you are live on stream. Figure you and Kauliarys, being this close, we figured, give it a shot. Let's get your thoughts while we're going through the jelly kill scenario here, just for a little added fun.
Yeah, I guess Michie is already done with the jelly kill. Is that right?
He's done with his jelly battle. Yes.
Oh, jelly battle, yeah.
He was 203 shy.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Pretty darn close.
Yeah, so currently we're going through the jelly kill setup. And Milton Blade goes on Guy. And Kensa with the strongest weapon should be on Deca, Kauliarys? Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Because Deca is the strongest guy in the group, and you should have Cancer Rock.
But it's still a good attempt here. Like we're sad that we couldn't get any thicker blades this run, but having mid blades it really helps around like shoring the fractionals that we would need. It's
Yeah,
going
but
to be interesting.
We still have a pretty good shot with Mythblade, Cancer Rock, Red Saber, and Uncursed Deadly Rod.
That's almost the best shot you can have without the Gades in a thicker blade again.
That is
Yeah,
almost the same
it's-
setup that Michie had in his run.
Can you actually?
Would,
Yeah, now it works.
Very close.
do we have trick here?
I don't know, man, what I could have done. I don't know if it would have mattered. I think just one more like capsule or one
Yeah,
crit.
it
Just-
was. I think your ranges, all of that
Range.
could have. Yep, your range.
Just everything together. Yeah.
203 points of damage was very close. It was really a heck of a run.
We're going to attempt to cover for the feeding here while the Kali is getting set up for the jelly kill. Like Michie, when was the moment that you just decided to just go? Like, was it from the start? Like,
Oh yeah, from the start. Oh yeah, I wanted to get the jelly. I wanted to get the good show. Absolutely. When I heard that the jelly was worth that many points, I was like, okay, I'm going.
Because I noticed that you were in the dungeon part, like when people were not even fighting, of course. So to me, it was either super quick Providence or just speed.
No, I was running.
It was a really
I mean,
good run from you. Like
That's
had
what I
to
was born to do, you know.
you had to hustle through a lot of Archies. Like if you watch the run back, you'll see that everyone had struggles with Archies. Like they were all over the screens.
Yeah, I guess if the second devastation was better and the battle cry were better, then I would have made it. That's unlucky.
Something for the viewers. While the fractionals are 1/8 or 1/6 of the current HP, there's always some variation to the number, which means that, like we're mentioning here, if the fractional had a better modifier on it, it would have been a kill. Like, so yeah, the jelly kill is as complicated as the run. Like you have to learn patterns, you have to learn a lot of stuff to get there, and then after that you have to learn which items are good for the jelly. I'm gonna let the awesome music play out for until he's ready now.
Hell yeah. Quick, grab somebody else, then Fumi. Fumi is a disappointment.
I mean, he's the good boy, right?
Wow. Those ranges. That turn 2 devastation.
That's gross.
Yeah.
I mean, the turn 2 devastation, that's like nearly 200 damage. The battle cry is 200 damage. I mean, there you go.
Yep. So you definitely got screwed by the rolls there.
Yeah.
Like,
But again,
those,
the magic
ahead.
of the cave. I was gonna say that the way that damage formulas work, you can be on the precipice of victory and defeat with the same setup, and you could run the battle 10 times, and you may not win any of those times. You may win all of them.
Being
There's
at
a
the
lot
mercy
of,
RNG
yeah.
for things that
Exactly.
can be up to hundreds and hundreds of points of damage is just such a stressful thing to deal with.
same thing here. 3 turns to kill the jelly. 9,980 HP. 3 turns. Let's go.
Come on, man. Get it.
I want to see a jelly die.
Me too.
We don't have tricks, so we have some power gourd strats here.
Ugh. When you're down to power good strats, then you know
Power
it's
gourd.
not good.
Hey man, I thought you were gonna use X Boomer strats, and I was like, dang, this is tight.
4,586 here.
Got a nice crit from back row
Yeah.
Decker.
Yeah, that's 100 damage there, or whatever.
That was an
Dragon is
87%
spell.
87% quality missile roll.
Huh.
That's looking good.
Ah, too bad.
Yep, going with Dragon again. At least Fumi is helping, right? It's 2 special attacks now.
Yeah, that's more than I got, I think. Or did I also get 2? I don't remember.
You got 1 attack and 1 special attack.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, one more Fumi punch could have done it. 1 headbutt.
But he defended turn 1, of course.
I have
Ugh.
6,876 at this time. And 1 turn to go.
Oof.
I was thinking, should I have
Really
done
tight.
double cancer rather than the old sword IP decker from the book world? I don't know.
Yeah, without trick, this is...
That's a normal attack on the last turn.
Damn,
That hurts.
That's 9,006.
damage.
GG, guys.
Yes.
Bad we didn't get it.
Wow.
Hey,
That's-
GG.
The beefy jelly of the cave remaining unkilled today.
I'd like to thank the runners. Like, we've had such a crazy run for you guys. Hope you had fun here. So yeah, let's. Do you want to talk about the strats while we get the other run going? I'm not sure how you want to go here after that.
Yeah,
So-
about my death, nothing special. I did a mistake, so yeah.
I don't even remember my run. It was difficult. It was very difficult. I'm just looking for the decker, but didn't find
Yeah.
it. Of course
You
not.
guys,
There was
you guys
none
did really
today.
great.
The cave
And-
didn't want me to succeed today. But putting double archfiends liches all over the cave.
Oh yeah, all 3 screens were filled with archers. Like it was really hard to know which one was force, which one was just a clip. Like it was very tense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, the strategy to bank on the Lexus Jellykill didn't work out quite well.
I'm
But
sorry I
we
didn't
had
get
to-
it.
Well, Mitch and I had the discussion just like when Eli told us. We kind of banked on going to the Jelly and beat him, and Mitch wanted to beat him with Lexus. And well, we kind of gambled, and it didn't work out. Yeah, that's kind of
Hey,
bad.
You guys were 203 points of damage away from victory, so I'd say that was an excellent strategy employed.
I mean,
Yeah,
it was exciting.
It was kind of like Mitchie went forward, and I was kind of like cleaning up points left and right.
Yeah, that's what we were telling the viewers, and it seemed to be working out great because you could see the like focus that Kauli and Travi were putting on all of the incentives along the way and how those points were adding up. But if you gambled on that big 20-point win against the Jelly, you guys had that victory if Kauli couldn't make it. So it was a worthwhile gamble, and it almost worked out perfectly. I enjoyed every minute of it. GG's to all the runners.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's, guys. That was fun.
Yeah.
GG.
We mentioned it, but if you can give the runners a follow up, like they run the cave, so if you want to see more cave like that, they do some on their Twitch account. Thank you.
Yeah, and follow the commentators as well. And follow everybody. I mean, everybody's awesome. And join the Asian Cave Discord.
Also,
Well,